What do Fortune 500 CEOs and tech startup founders like Indra Nooyi, former CEO of Pepsi, Martin Roper, CEO of Boston Beer Company, and Steve Hafner, CEO of Kayak.com, have in common? They were all consultants at the Boston Consulting Group early in their careers. In fact, one of the things that BCG prides itself on is the intellectual horsepower of its consultants. That means that for every project or every client that BCG takes on, they always have a tailored approach towards how to solve the client's particular situation. So you won't expect BCG to take a past framework or a past solution and apply it here. So every single approach that they take is unique to just the client and the situation the client's encountering. They all solve tough problems for global companies as well as governmental organizations, startups, and nonprofits. Want to know if you can land a job at BCG? In this video, I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know to land an offer at BCG. In this video, we'll cover what the BCG case interview is like, what BCG looks for in candidates, and if you stick with us until the very end, I'll share with you the 5 tips for passing your BCG interview. Hi, my name is Davis. If you're joining us today, smash that subscribe button so that every time a new video comes out about how to land a consulting offer, such as how to land a job at Boston Consulting Group, you'll be the first to know. Let's start off with the inside scoop about what makes BCG stand out from all the other consulting firms. Like any case interview, the BCG case interview is a business problem that you're solving live with the help of the interviewer. It involves showing that you can think in a structured manner, that you're able to drive towards an answer, have strong arithmetic skills. The interviewer, of course, knows the answer and will be handing you information as well as exhibits to help you progress through the case as you drive towards the answer. There are 4 stages to the BCG case interview: the opening, the structure, the analysis, and the recommendation. In the opening, you want to make sure that you understand the question that you're being asked to solve. Repeat the question back to your BCG interviewer, and feel free to ask questions you have about the client's company, as well as how the business operates. In the structuring stage, you'll lay out the approach to solving the client's problem by outlining the key areas you want to look into. You want to have a couple level of depth in your case structure. For instance, if you're looking at profitability, you want to look at both the costs as well as the revenues. On the cost side, you might want to look at the fixed costs as well as the variable costs, or to break down the costs even further in a way that's relevant to the problem that you're solving. For revenues, you want to capture the price as well as the quantity that they're selling. Again, you can also break this down even further, for example, by product type, customer segment, or even geography. In the analysis, you're actually going to walk through each of the areas that you outline in your case structure, one by one. Ask the interviewer for the data you need to solve the case, interpret what the data means as you receive it, and share your thoughts on how the data impacts your client as well as the problem that they're working on. Perform any math you might need to find a solution. Lastly, provide a clear and compelling recommendation of what the client should do. Be sure to highlight any risks that they might run into as they implement your proposed solution. A great candidate will also provide the next steps on implementing the recommendation. For a full example of a BCG case and a solution, see our video, BCG Case, One Country Eradicates Polio. If you've already started your preparation for case interviews, you might have noticed that BCG follows a similar format to other consulting firms when it comes to their consulting case interview. What is characteristic about a BCG case interview, though, is that the interviewer expects the interviewee, that is you, to take the lead and drive the case forward. This is different from how McKinsey does it, for example, where the interview is being led by the interviewer who really drills down on topics through a series of scripted questions. As with other case interviews, you'll notice that a BCG case will have its share of math, exhibit, brainstorming, and even market sizing exercises. BCG case interviews, however, do have a lot of variation when it comes to the industry, the topic, or the exact composition of the case. For instance, you might be a bit more likely to encounter cases that are not about profitability, or the client might be a non-governmental organization, also known as an NGO. That being said, for the vast majority of cases you'll encounter, you'll still expect some form of profitability or growth case for your BCG case interview, with a couple of exhibits, some math, potentially market sizing, and or some brainstorming questions. By the way, if you're interested in becoming a management consultant, check out the link below where you can book a free strategy session with a member of my team, and we'll walk you through step by step how to become a management consultant, especially if you're trying to land an offer at a place like BCG. Now that you know what a BCG case interview looks like, let's go over the details about what you're exactly going to be evaluated on when it comes to interview day. What exactly is BCG looking for when they're giving you a case interview? And the MBBs, McKinsey, Bain, and BCG, often seen as the most prestigious firms, are no exception to that. And then there's what BCG emphasizes in particular. Here are the basics. All consulting firms are looking for smart people who are able to think quickly, accurately, creatively, and also on their own, and by themselves, and communicate the solutions they come up with concisely and eloquently. They want people who are open to feedback, care about making an impact, and are inspiring leaders to others, and thrive when working in teams. Those are the skills that make for a great consultant no matter what firm you're interviewing for. And as you go through the case interview, these are skills that you'll be graded on as the interviewer looks for the best candidates to hire. At the end of the day, though, the question each and every interviewer is trying to answer is, would I want to put this person on my team and in front of my clients? It's really that simple. And the things that BCG emphasizes over other consulting firms are number 1, the drive, number 2, a tailored approach, number 3, the BCG attitude. I'll go over exactly what these mean so that you're ready for your interview day. Number 1, the drive. The most important thing to ace your BCG case interview is your ability to drive the case. This means always being in a driving seat as you go through the case interview. This means you know where to start and where to go at each step. You are driving the case while the interviewer is observing like a passenger. You can get from the beginning of the case to the end of the case by yourself. And more importantly, you can explain to your interviewer where you're going and why you're going there so that they feel like a comfortable passenger who doesn't need to worry about where you're going or if you'll crash the car. One way to do this is what BCG calls the hypothesis-driven approach. It means that when you're in a case, you have a hypothesis about what's happening and you're driving towards proving or disproving that hypothesis. For instance, once the interviewer gives you the prompt, let's say that you already created a structure for it. Instead of waiting for the interviewer to tell you what to do next, you might just take the initiative and present a hypothesis. For example, you might say, my hypothesis for the profit decline might be because of the pricing structure. I say this because you said that attendance remains stable. Do you have any data on the pricing and membership structure that our client uses? Have there been any changes in the past 5 years? Number 2, a tailored approach. The second thing that is emphasized at BCG is the ability to tailor your approach to the situation at hand. Part of BCG's differentiation from other big consulting firms is that they don't approach clients and business problems with pre-made solutions. They take pride in using all their expertise to develop a solution that is the best for their client. What this means in practice for you at the BCG case interview is that you really should not limit yourself to rehashing pre-learned frameworks or case structures. Similarly, what I want you to do is as you're having a discussion with the interviewer and going through a case, I want you to really put yourself in the shoes of a consultant visiting the plant, the company's headquarters, or talking to the vice president of sales about how the idea to roll out a left-handed stapler might be able to meet the client's situation and their goals. You can build in this habit by using the words of the case. Example, instead of saying volume has gone down, you can say the number of cases ordered by supermarkets has gone down, so we're shipping fewer bottles. Show the interviewer that you're actually putting yourself in the shoes of the actual client, thinking about the client's situation, and not just repeating a term that you read about in a business book. Ask clarifying questions about the client's business model. That is, how do you actually make money during the opening of the case? Similar to how if you're trying to understand how your best friend makes money. Taking a hypothesis-driven approach here will also help you tick this box. The goal here is to show the interviewer that you're able to look at a situation from all different types of angles, especially to catch the nuances that make your client's situation unique. The BCG attitude. Last but not least is the attitude you project. One of our coaches, who's a former BCG consultant, came up with the term BCG attitude. So no need to Google it. What I mean by this is having a combination of 1, being personable, 2, being coachable, and 3, having a go-getter mindset. Being personable simply means that interacting with you is pleasant. The interviewer can simply start chit-chatting with you. And ideally, as you go through the interview, both you and the interviewer feel comfortable working together. Anything that can be perceived as you being a know-it-all or arrogant will be a turnoff for the interviewer. They don't want to send new consultants to their clients who have this attitude. If you stay professional and make the effort to care about the person who's in front of you, you'll be fine. Being coachable. Like other consulting firms, BCG has a feedback-heavy culture in which you're constantly being evaluated. You're not expected to know everything from the day that you start. In fact, you're not expected to know most things, but you are expected to be able to learn fast and be able to receive feedback. So someone who does not take feedback well is unlikely to thrive in this type of environment. In practice, during your case interview, notice the cues that your interviewers are giving you as they try to nudge you to take a certain direction or incorporate a certain feedback during the BCG case interview process. Don't show annoyance at any point, as that's a huge turnoff within BCG culture. Having a go-getter attitude. That means always moving ahead, even when there are setbacks. If you have a complete meltdown and collapse, for example, you realize when you're doing calculations that your math is off by 2 zeros, that is a factor of 100, and the interviewer sees that you can't keep yourself together, they'll have a lot less faith in you to be able to handle the client work in their tough situations when it's not just an interview, but a real client in front of you. So when a mistake like this happens, acknowledge it, show why it doesn't make sense, correct it, and also prove to the interviewer that you have a structured way to catch errors like these. And show the interviewer your structured way for how you caught this mistake. In summary, showing the BCG attitude isn't some magic trick. Stay humble, stay calm, and continue to drive towards the answer. That's about it. All right, now you know what you should be careful about. Now that you've made it to the end of the video, I'm gonna share with you my 5 tips for making sure that you pass your case interview and land that consulting offer. 1, be methodical in your casing prep. Commit to practicing cases regularly with a wide range of case partners. Make sure that some are at your level and others are more ahead of you. And don't immediately just turn down people who are beginners because they might have things to teach you as well. as you get more advanced in your prep. 2. Make sure you're at the bar on each part. When preparing, ask for detailed feedback for the various parts of the case and act on that feedback. If someone credible thought that your conclusion was weak and gave you tips to improve, go back to past cases you've done and rehearse the conclusion while recording it on your phone. Get particularly comfortable with doing math fast and accurately, reading exhibits, and coming up with structured answers on the go. 3. Focus on the drive. Now that you have the skills, it's time to think like a consultant. Demonstrate your ability to solve a business problem in collaboration with someone else. When in doubt, walk your interviewer through your thought process. This is the same if you need to make an assumption at any point. Explain why, how you're choosing the assumption, and see if your interviewer is on board with that. Number 4, don't skip the fit. Have those 5 or 6 stories ready to share when it comes to the fit interview. And you can also watch our video on the consulting behavioral interview for tips on this. Number 5, enjoy yourself. At the end of the day, the BCG case interview is also a way for you to see if you would like the job or not. If after spending hours preparing for the case interview and the idea of doing a live case in front of your interviewer sounds horrific to you, you might want to see if consulting is actually the right career path. But if after hours of preparation, you feel like, wow, this is actually exciting and you enjoy the process of getting better, of building up your business skills, as well as seeing how you can solve a business problem, it's exciting for you, this might be the right career path for you. Once the interview day comes, go in with full intent to really enjoy the process. Remember, the people across the table from you want you to succeed. They're investing time into you. They want the people they interview to be potential hires. Why else would someone give up 8 hours of their day for days at a time to interview people just to have to reject them? They want to hire you. So show them what you can do because they want you to be that next hire. So there you go. Everything you need to know to land an offer at BCG. Now, if you're 100% serious about landing an offer in consulting, my team and I want to help you. If you follow the link below, you can book a free strategy session with a member of my team, and we're going to walk you through step by step everything you need to know to land your dream offer in consulting. In fact, our proven process has helped over 600 people just like you land their dream consulting offer at firms such as BCG. But you don't have to take my word for it. Hear from someone who went through our program.